Hello, welcome to today's video, which is going to be focused on price only. We're going to take a look at Injective and we're also going to take a look at Manta because these are two that I've got my eyes on personally, and I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on the chart here. Now, tomorrow I do have an interesting video, so make sure to subscribe if you're new here and you haven't already done so. To pay attention to that video because it's something that's really exciting that's coming up. It's a token that I'm sure you're going to be excited to hear more about. So let's kick things off here with Injective. Now Injective, as you know, this is on the 1-day chart, had a really nice run. It went all the way up to like $45 here. As you can see, 45.31 as the peak here. It had another attempt here to 42 and then it just started trending down with the Bitcoin price. Okay, when Bitcoin crashed, Injective crashed. And now it's following Bitcoin again. You see, so it just doesn't seem like the market makers are stepping in here, at least not right now. But we can definitely see some movement. As soon as Bitcoin recovers a bit, like Injective follows very quickly, and the moves are more aggressive than the Bitcoin moves in terms of percentage wise, right? If you compare the price of what Injective used to be when Bitcoin was like 38.5K and compared to what it is now when the Bitcoin is at 42K, you know, it's you can definitely see that aggression, you know, in the price. If you look on the 1-day chart, it didn't even reach the 50-day moving average here. It just went under the 21-day moving average, which is the white line, and then it pushed back up here. So yeah, I mean, it held pretty well, to be fair, and it is looking bullish. So like I said, it doesn't mean that it can't go back down. If Bitcoin crashes, of course, Injective is going to follow. There's no way it's just going to keep on going up if Bitcoin was to crash, right? But it does look bullish right now. It does encounter a bit of resistance around this area here, but overall, it's looking pretty good. And if we were to close in here on the 1 hour, just to zoom in more, you could see it's riding the 21-day moving average really well here. Look, it's bouncing right off this moving average. Boom, when it goes back up, bounces again, goes back up. Okay, so again, this is one of the trading strategies that I like to use sometimes. Like I like to look for these opportunities where we see a breakout. As you can see here, this was the last high that we had. And so it was trending down, but as soon as it broke above this was like a buy signal for me to go long. And so, you know, I didn't take this trade, unfortunately, but because I missed it. But if I would have set an alert to take this trade, I would have taken this trade for sure because the probability was in my favor. It gave me like more than 60% probability that this is going to go up. Of course, it could have just crashed and then, you know, I would have been stopped out, but that's fine. You know, that's the thing with the probability game. You can never be too sure. You can only go by what you think the market is going to do, right? So in this case, I thought that the market is going to go up, right? Again, if I wouldn't have seen this, based purely on breaking this previous high, you know, this was a clear sign here of a bullish momentum. So yeah, it was a good risk to reward ratio in my opinion here. But unfortunately, like I said, I didn't take the trade. And when I saw it, it was a bit too late in my opinion because I didn't know how much higher it could go. Of course, you know, I could have taken the trade here on this green bar here as soon as this would have shown momentum. And I could have made a little bit off that with high leverage. But again, I don't like to risk high leverage because I do have a small risk to reward. So if I lose, then, you know, I don't want to lose more than $100, you know. So in that case, you know, it wouldn't have really paid off that much here. So yeah, it is popping up really nicely here. It's bouncing off. It could bounce again off this now, as I see here on the next 1 hour or so. If we watch it in the next 1 hour or 2 hours, you should get a general idea if there will be one more bounce here. It does look bullish. It does look like there would be another bounce here. In theory, but it's not guaranteed because as you can see here, we went to 38.45 and then the next high was 38.30. Okay, so it's not a big difference here, but it was a little bit smaller. But then with this one, it put in a higher high here with 39.40. So yeah, it depends here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to put in a higher high than this. It could just put a new high here, higher than this one, right? Higher than the previous one. So that could be the case. It could go to like 38.75, 38.80. Again, it's just a probability. It doesn't necessarily mean it's definitely going to happen. But also these two moving averages crossing the red one, which is the 100-day. So when I see the 50 and the 21-day crossing the 100-day, it's bullish because it moves into the uptrend. And this is on the 1 hour chart, remember. So yeah, it's definitely looking good here, thanks to Bitcoin. But let's move on here and look at Manta. So Manta has been on a constant uptrend. It didn't even care that Bitcoin has dumped. As you can see here, it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of hype with Manta. The team are doing a great job at marketing it. And announcing the airdrops as well has definitely pushed some sort of hype towards Manta now, and people have become more bullish. And aside from that, I think that the market makers are definitely supporting Manta right now. And there's just no telling when it's going to find some sort of consolidation here. This is the 1-day chart. So if we see any sort of consolidation, I'd be looking for some sort of entry. Although I am a bit concerned given the calamari PTSD that I still have. This is one of the reasons I didn't actually want to buy a heavy bag of Manta early on when it listed, because I was really afraid that we're going to see the same as with calamari in 2021 when they listed at the peak of the bull market. I did get a lot of KMA. I sold on the first day and then the market just kept crashing. And of course I had more because I only sold like 50%, which I got unlocked to me, and like you got unlocked to you if you contributed to that calamari crowd loan back then on Kusama. And so, just seeing the constant dumping, I know that the market was kind of taking a plunge as well, but even so, like while we were still at the peak of the bull market, calamari was just on a constant dump. And so I am afraid here that once the market makers will let go of this, we may potentially see a big dump, because the tokenomics don't really favor retail. The tokenomics favor VCs in this case, and they are aggressive unlocks. So I'm always careful when it comes to aggressive unlocks, not to get bit, not to get get in too late and then to find out that, oops, it's crashing against me. But again, this is just my perspective and my personal opinion, because this could very well go to $10, $20 for all we know, right? It's anybody's guess at the end of the day. Nobody can know for sure. But it's definitely bullish here. I gotta tell you that I haven't seen a chart like this in a while. So yeah, we'll have to see when it finds some sort of consolidation. I mean, looking at this 1-day chart here, like on the 27th, the high was 384, and then the next high was 389 when the sellers crept in here. As you can see, like it did end in a red day, right? It ended with a red bar, but now it's at 381. So it seems to be finding some sort of resistance around this area, and it just can't seem to break it higher. But if it does break above it, then it's anybody's guess how high it could go. So it's definitely bullish, of course. And especially as this green bar for today is about to end engulfing this red bar. Almost engulfing it, right? Close to engulfing it, but definitely above it here, right? Of course, it does have the top and tail here. Okay, so this one is still more bullish, but even so, I mean, there's definitely a lot more buying power here if you look at it, right? So let's go to the 1 hour here and just have a look at that as well. So on the 1 hour, again, it's right in that 21-day moving average, the white line, very, very nicely. Look, as soon as it broke out here, let's go back here. So as soon as it broke out, this huge green bar here almost took out this previous one here. Okay. And then as you can see, it continued going higher. So this showed significant strength. And again, I didn't take this trade, unfortunately. This was a good sign to take the trade here on the first green bar after the pullback, around 330. I could have ridden this to 380 something, right? I could have gotten 50 cents out of this, with enough leverage. 50 cents could be pretty good on Manta, right? Given the price. Now on Injective, 50 cents is not that great, but on Manta, 50 cents is pretty good. It's close to 20%. So yeah, it's anyone's guess what could happen here, but it does look really bullish. The fact that it is right in this 21-day moving average, it's definitely good here. I'm expecting some more of this until it decides something. It takes some sort of decision. Like I wouldn't know how much higher this could go, like I said, but the fact that it's riding it so nicely here on the 1 hour chart is definitely a bullish sign. Now, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback here, to be fair. I'm expecting this to touch the white line once again, which is the 21-day moving average, probably to around 365-ish, and then maybe bounce back up higher. This is what I would assume could happen here, given what has already happened. So yeah, we'll have to see here how things go. Thank you for watching. This was it from today's short video. And don't forget tomorrow's video on a token that I'm personally quite bullish of, and it's about to list very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.